Alright, we're back. So, I clean out the tank here. This is just a little bench top deal, residential use. Put some cleaning solution down in there. It's got a little pump over there if you want to use it. So, temporarily, that's what I'm going to use for cleaning parts with. This one here has my real nasty stuff in here. Nice and pukey looking. So if you keep it covered up, it'll last longer and it won't stink up the place as much. So it helps if I used a bucket, didn't have a handle on it, but I just saw I had one of those laying over here somewhere. Yeah, somewhere in the pile I just saw one. Yeah, wherever it went to, it already disappeared. Can't find my tire here. I'm going to put the tire on this thing, so I found this in the bottom of my toolbox, little rubber mallet, so it's not the same thing, but it'll have to do. So we got a new Commander 2 tire. I'm going to put that onto this rim here, wheel. So this one here is off a 90's Dyna. So this is the pulley side, and this is the rotor side. Disc rotor. So when your rotor looks like this, it's not in good condition. So when it's worn this deep, it's a good sign it might have some issues with it. And your brake pads probably aren't the best either. So it's warped slightly also with a shocker, but definitely worn a ton. Took about 4.5 hours to get this wheel to this point. Getting the old tire off is kind of hard, but not major. The problem was all the bolts didn't want to come out. So the big hex heads for the pulley came off relatively easy. I don't know where they're at. They're laying around there somewhere. But the rotor, the disc rotor, did not want to come off. So I wound up broken 2 of my bits off. My cheap bit, I rounded it off. So this has Torx head bolts that go in here. So I got the one out. This one here rounded, spun a couple times and just ripped all the teeth off it. It's just a cheap ass one, which is in this case is a Craftsman. So rounded that one off. This one here is the big dollar Snap-on one. It's like 50 bucks or better. So it sheared it right off also. So that one goes in there like that. So these start twisting on, you can see where it starts folding them back on themselves, and then it just sheared it right off. So I got one bolt out, the other 4, well the other 3 got, 2 of them are rounded out, the other one had a broken off head inside of it from this, and the 4th one I just left, screw it. It didn't come out. Tired of breaking hardware and tools, so anyway, these just would not come out. So the way you get these out is you take a big drill, like this, and you drill right through the head of the bolt right here, and you drill through this all the way through this. It has a nice center point because it's already got a hole in it. Even if it's rounded off, it doesn't matter, it works just fine. And then when you're all done, you have these sticking up. The rotor just pulls right up off over the top because there's no more flange holding it, so it comes right off. These are really, really hard bolts, so they tear up your drills, so I sharpened this 3 times. So the last sharpened job, I got a good job on it. I have a machine I spent an hour looking for, and it didn't work too good. Doing it by hand did work good. So you drill these all out, and then you take a little pair of pliers, either something like this, or a pair of vice grips, or whatever you got laying around. Or channel locks, whatever it takes to get them out. And if they don't come out like these, then you're screwed. So you can see the Loctite right here. This was buried all the way in there. It's barely sticking above the surface. We got about 1/8 of an inch to 3/16 sticking up max. That's the most it has, about 2 threads sticking up like that. So they wouldn't come. So then I had to take a torch and you heat up the hub right here, and all your Loctites will melt by 350 degrees. Between 3 and 350 they quit working. So they'll start to unscrew on you, and then as it cools down, it re-solidifies and gets hard again. So if it starts getting hard, heat up some more, come back and start turning again. And then I just use a little pair of channel locks to unscrew them from there, which probably left over here on the milling machine. Yep, right over here. Here's the vice grips. It didn't really work very well, but these are what I got used, because these will get into real tight and close to the bolt, because you want to get 2 threads to work with. One I only had like 1 thread. So you grab a hold of this. Now if you hold it like this, that's for tightening. If you hold it like this, it's for unscrewing, because the leverage will dig this joint deeper, harder, and helps you. If you go this other direction, it's the opposite. It wants to unload and round on you. So, same on crescent wrenches. Do the same thing. Whenever you have a crescent wrench, where the hell they're at around here. I thought I had one in my bucket. I went somewhere. See, everything's missing around here. I got one up here. See, crescent wrenches are angled also. Same deal. If you push it like this, the pressure is compression on the jaw instead of tension. If you go in this direction, it's on tension, it tries to rip it up. If you go this way, it's pushing down on it. So your crescent wrench will work better. So that's how tools are. It works with every your tools. All your tools are like that. This is the direction you should be using, not this way for tightening. These are strong enough, it doesn't really matter, but it's just how the pressures work. So anyway, I was able to unscrew this here. Get these to unscrew. Once they start unscrewing, I put the vice grips on there to clamp onto it, and just spun it right on out. So, and I got it hot enough that the bearing was starting to smoke a little bit, but not really. So the bearing's still good. If you get it too tight, it'll lock up the bearing on you, or it'll burn all the seal out and all the other crap out of it. So, anyway, once I got those all out, then that was a major achievement for that deal. So that was a pain in the ass doing. Then I had to go to truing because all of these spokes were getting loose. When I was taking the tire off, I noticed they didn't make much noise. See how these make noise? They're tight. If you take a wrench and go like that, you can hear it, different tensions. See, that's real tight. See the ringness on it? When it goes thump, 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 real dull, it's loose. So this one had a whole bunch of loose spokes in it. So I had to go back, and I knew I had to go back and work on this. So I went back and trued it up, tightened all the spokes up, and got it back good. If you don't do that, the spokes will break. Whenever you see broken spokes in the wheel, and 9 times out of 10 it's because the spokes are loose. The hub's going back and forth like that, and eventually just rips the ends off here. So if you got good tension on your spokes, you won't pull them apart. So, secret to spoke wheels: tight is good, loose is bad. So I got this one all trued up, so not wobbling too bad, not much up and down. You never get them perfect, but good enough. So this one's ready to put the tire back on it. So the inner rim strip here is good, so I'm going to reuse that. The tube is over here. Tube's nice and good. There's no fold marks in it. There's no repairs, no holes, no dings. The tube is nice and soft, so it's still usable. So when you see fold marks in them, there's creases. You'll actually see a crease mark in there, then those are bad. Because when you lay it back out, it's got a stress area that you can blow it and crack and get a hole in it. So this one here I'm going to reuse. No reason not to. I'm going to use this tire here. And it had 2 balance weights that came off of it right here. That's how they balanced it, so I have to rebalance it. So my problem is most of my stuff is not where I can find it. That means it's missing. That is the problem when you move. You can't find your tools or your parts. So I got enough stuff here to do what I got to do. So we go ahead and put this tire on here. See how this works. So first thing I got to do is undo our tire. It's up here. I'm going to pull the crap out of it, obviously, first. Crap. Trash can there. Over there. Okay. I like taking all the plastic labels off because I don't want those underneath the bead or anything. Take all this junk off the wheel. Maybe we can leave it on. So whatever labels you can get off, take off. There's some more over here. More of them coming off. Alright, so looks like all of them. Alright. So on the left is the barcode that's on the tire here. These ones here aren't really made to come off, so just leave them on there. Everything else is good. So you gotta wipe all the crap out of here that might be in here. Make sure there's nothing running around in there, because that will pop a tube. So we'll clean that out. So just take your rag like this, run it on the inside. If you feel anything loose in there, the rag will catch it and you'll hear it rolling around in there. So it's just got some soft stuff in there from, oh, that's like releasing agent, compound, talcum powder, you know what they put in those things, something. Then you take an airline, just blow them out. Make sure there's no other residue in there. Nice and clean. Okay, so now it's ready to go on. Okay, these are directional, so you know which way you're going. 99% of the time, the valve stem is on this side, not the pulley side. So this is your drive side, this is your brake side. That's easy where it's at. The other way to tell is the holes. These are 3/8 holes, or 5/16, 3/8 in the back usually. And these are 7/16 here for the bolts, for the pulleys, or sprockets, depending on what you have. So that's how these go. So goes right down there. So I take my CRC 3-36, my universal lubricant. I spray the tire with it. And it makes it kind of slick. You can also use soapy water and stuff like that. But you don't want to be using anything that leaves a residue that really lasts. You do want the rubber to stick to the rim at some point so it doesn't spin. Okay, so I just put a little bit like that on there. And then we put on the tire, on the rim. So you have to figure out which way the tire goes. Directional tread. Let's see, here's an arrow right here. It says rear goes this way. And we are on which side? We are on the brake side. So on a big twin, it goes this way. So I can flip it around. Double check your arrow. There should be another arrow on this side, you would think. I don't see it. Nice of them. So then we put it on one side. Great. Rear is going that way, so that will be this way, so it goes like that. Sometimes there's a dot or a mark on a heavy spot. I don't see any indications of a heavy spot. Or a light spot in that case. That's the spot you put next to the valve stem if you have a marking of any type. I don't see anything. So I'll put the barcode on that side. Okay, so now you just slip it on there as best you can. Like that. And then you hit it with a hammer to knock it on the rest of the way. There's the hammer. Don't use a steel hammer. If you hit it just right, sometimes it goes on all the way. This thing's way too big, it gets in the way, it hits everything. So what you're doing is you're hitting the lower bead and you're pushing it right over the rim. This doesn't really work very well, it's too damn big. So you're losing all your force by hitting the other side of the tire. Not working very well. So That's why I never use these things. I don't like them. So I need a real hammer. Alright, where's my other hammer at? That's the part that's missing. But there's another one floating around somewhere. Oh, where'd I hide it? Junk in the way. No hammer. Alright, we're on rust break. I'd go find a hammer I was using to beat shells together with. It's somewhere in the building here. I'll be back.